This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar. And what we're trying to do here is create a plan for the week. And special welcome, of course, to the new people. I hope this will be something practical and useful for you. A few words about myself. This is me, Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been involved in trading for over 23 years. I started as a prop trader in New York City, and after 11 years of that intense experience, I moved into a less stressful environment and started also to mentor and educate other traders. And I'm happy that I have a great opportunity to assist our customers at AvaTrade. Now, I want to apologize for my voice. It looks like I caught a little bit cold, so apologize for sounding a little bit weird. Okay, the agenda of the webinar, what we do usually, we go a little bit over the fundamentals. We'll look at economic calendar, and then we'll discuss indices, individual stocks, commodities, and Forex. Risk warning, you can find a full statement at avatrade.com. What we'll do here, it's purely educational, of course. These are the channels that would be a great idea for you to follow and get a lot of useful information. You have Telegram, you have Twitter, or it's called X now. And my favorite, as I always say, YouTube channel. Reason being that's a lot of information being posted on daily basis, including the webinars. So if you missed the live webinar, you can always open the YouTube and find the webinar and watch it at your convenient time. Now, if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, please put the likes if you like it, of course, share it with people, and subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified on new things coming in. And as I said, we're updating it on daily basis. Okay, so before we go into details, just to summarize the last week, it's a 7th week in equity markets running up, especially U.S. Equity markets are running up, and we had the interest rate decision. Was a busy week from U.S. and also Europe and UK, also Swiss bank. So the main focus was, of course, in the U.S. As expected, there were no changes, no increase, and the press conference was the key point of the week. And it looks like the market participants took the speech or the answers to the questions at press conference as dovish and in favor to the market. So market initially ran up. So we finished the week on the highs again. So we'll go to details in a moment. Now, a few things. This is something that caught my attention. You can find the article at Market Watch. As you know, since October 7th, there's a war going on in the Middle East. And there are a lot of chaos, of course. And one of the things that's been very disturbing, that's this military group, Houthis, I guess, I don't know how to pronounce the name. They're really being guided by Iran, and that's no secret. So they've been really getting intense there by attacking the ships. And that area there in the Red Sea, it's very busy. A lot of cargo goes through it. So this is the article. I'm just going to read parts of it. Shipping companies continue to abandon Red Sea, one of the most trafficking water routes in the world, after the series of attacks on the ships. So a few of the companies actually put on hold. On Friday, we had Maersk and the other company announcing it, and then Swiss-based MSC also announced that they will not be going through that area, which it says right here. The Red Sea is typically the shortest trade route for ships bringing goods to Asia, from Asia to Europe, passing close to Yemen in the south of the Egypt-Suez Canal in the north. Without that passage, MSC on Saturday said it would route some ships around the southern tip of Africa, which adds days to their journey. Okay, now as you could see, these companies they announced on Friday, the stock went higher. I guess it's more profit for them. I'm not sure. But in any event, why did I bring it up? It's a nice story, but um, this could be really affecting the markets, maybe retailers, maybe insurance companies, anything else. This is big. And I think I ran through some messages today. It looks like US is planning on taking some actions. So far, nothing was happening, and they were like freely attacking the ships. And I think the last one was the Bulgarian vessel that was attacked. Anyway, so this could be something that will be affecting the market. So that's why I figure I'll bring it up. Now, let's go through economic calendar really quick and a few words, especially for new people on the calendar. So here I take the high impact events. You can filter through them. You can find what's relevant for your trading. You can find the economic calendar on our web trader or the app or any third-party provider. It's the same public information. It's available. And as I said, I take out the high impact events only here. So otherwise, it would be a lot of things to go through, and some of it is not really relevant. So Tuesday, we have Bank of Australia meeting minutes on their last interest rate decision. So that's interesting. And as you know, if you're regular here, I've been talking about Bank of Japan a lot, almost every session. And that's another day when they have a chance to take actions. The general opinion in the market that they will not do anything until next year, but you never know. Just to remind us, it's the only major central bank still has a negative interest rate. Okay, as you could see here, it's minus 0.1. And when we get to Forex, we'll take a look at Japanese yen. Excuse me. We'll see how it's really gaining some strength lately. So that's a decision followed by press conference. No times are posted. Then we have CPI numbers from Canada on Tuesday. Going to Wednesday, we have CPI numbers from UK. Thursday, GDP from US, the gross domestic product. And Friday, GDP from UK. And this data is very important for the Feds, the core personal consumption expenditure. And that's for the month of November, and that's on Friday. So these are the things to watch. Very important, as I said, the decision and the kind of language of Bank of Japan as far as the interest rate and the core consumption, core personal consumption expenditure. So these are the things. Okay, so now we're going to move to the trading platform. And we'll be talking about a few stocks. I'm just going to give you a heads up. We'll talk about indices in general. We'll go through them. Then we'll talk about Apple, Boeing, Tesla, Google, Pfizer, Uber, Nike, and bank stocks. On commodity side, we'll talk about oil, natural gas, gold, palladium, wheat, cocoa, and sugar. And we'll go through the Forex, we'll go through the majors, and also with the pairs that we've been watching for the past few weeks. And that's it. We'll just take a look at cryptos in the end. All right. So let's start with China. Continues to slide. Even on all the excitement from the States, it looks like investors are giving up on China. If you remember, we mentioned this level from back in October 2022. This past week, we closed below. And if we take a monthly chart, if we are continuing lower, the next stop would be somewhere here on the 2018 level. And that would be around 10,200, 10,300. Again, doesn't mean they will get there, but take a look: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive months to the downside. And as the US market and Europeans were running, making new highs, Chinese market is just tanking. Okay. Now, another Asian market, Japanese market, it's been sliding. I think some of it to do with the strength of the Japanese yen. When we get there, we'll take a look. So with China, we should be, again, as we usually look at copper and crude oil. Now take a look. Copper is going higher, even on the China index sliding. So this could be excitement on the global markets going higher. And if copper continues, we'll be retesting this level around 392. So far, we haven't gotten there yet. Crude oil trying to recover here. As you could see, the last 3 sessions we were in green, but we're still holding this high of the 11th of December, which was 71.79. We did spike above it a little bit, but we couldn't close above. So this almost $72, it looks like the level they couldn't break the whole week. So that's I just ran through it really because of China. Now let's go to US, and we just want to share a few numbers with you as far as the indices, what they did this past week. So S&Ps gained 2.5% for the week. Let's take a quick look at it. As you could see, it was a very, very strong week. We did try to break through the highs of the end of 2021. We didn't get there yet, but still we made a move to the upside, 2.5%. Dow Jones, 2.9% move to the upside, and we are at the all-time highs. As you could see here, this month was very strong for Dow. We just broke that end of 2021 level and close at the highs, as you could see here. And NASDAQ was up 2.8%. I believe it also made all-time highs. Yes, the high here was 16,766. We closed at 814, 16,814. So very strong move on indices. Now, if you take German index as well, it goes kind of following Dow Jones, the US index, a lot. So as you could see, we had a nice move to the upside, and a lot of it to do with weak euro in the past few weeks. So as you could see here, Friday was a gap and move lower, and then we were trading higher anyway. As you could see here, most of the indices are at the all-time highs. UK is not really following, even though I had some strong weeks, but we're not close to be at the highs. So as you could see here, indices had a nice move. We are in the second half of December, so a lot of analysts are excited. They are expecting the Santa Claus rally into the end of the year, similar what we had the end of 2021. But then in 2022 was a sell-off. Now they're really predicting that we'll have a good year. By the way, important to mention the 2024, it's an election year. And analysts are predicting the run of the market as well, because statistically or historically, the election year is usually positive for the markets, according to analysts. Okay, so these are the indices. Also important to mention, the VIX at the really low levels. We almost hit the low of 1181 on the VIX. Now VIX is some people call it the fear indicator, a volatility indicator for S&P 500. So on 12/12 we hit the low of 1181. And January 2020, right before the pandemic collapse on the markets, the VIX were at 1175 low on the January. So it could be, some analysts said it shows really the strength of the market. Some are saying that it could trigger reversals. So I guess we'll find out, but it's worth noticing that the VIX are at really historical lows. Okay, we'll move to stocks now. Um, we'll start with Apple, and I think the latest news on Apple that China expanded the number of agencies and banning the usage of the Apple products, especially the iPhones. So it's not a good idea for Apple, I think, because I mean it's China, a few billion people there, and also last time when they announced the first time, the Apple reacted to the downside. So just to remind us, Apple is the I think the biggest company, reaching $3 trillion. As you could see, I think this was the reaction to it initially. Let's see how this week will be for Apple on that announcement and how investors will be reacting to it. So next one is Boeing. I really want to look at it closely. It's been a strong move. It triggered the last air show and huge orders coming in. So the stock, and also they banned some restrictions after inspecting the troubled airplanes. So as you could see, we've been flying, literally. Boeing been flying, and the question is, how far would it go? We'll be watching it actually to indicate any specific levels. It's not easy, as you could see here. If you look at the monthly chart, if we are continuing higher here, we might retest the high of 278, and that's from March of 2021, the level from which we start selling. So we'll be watching that. Now, Pfizer, pharmaceutical company, they've been down a lot. So first it was they stopped the trial for one of the cancer, not the cancer, but the obesity drug because of the side effects. Then they announced, so this was the cancellation of the trial. This was the announcement of the lower than expected earnings in the upcoming year. And we've been trading here. Now they just announced that they completed the acquisition of the Seagen company for $43 billion. So they bought Seagen for $229 per share in cash. And they really want to focus on the cancer drugs, and that was the main purpose on acquisition of this company. And Friday, some analysts noticed there was a high volume and the stock went up. What they actually did, they increased the dividends for the first quarter from 41 cents to 42 cents. For me, I don't know if it's a big deal, but a lot of people are actually holding the shares for the purpose of collecting the dividends. So market reacted to it, I guess, buyers coming in, and that's on Pfizer. Now, next one is Uber. It's been super strong. This last move on Friday, it raises the question, are we done running or maybe looking for correction? And take a look on the weekly chart. We are in the area of the resistance. We had few attempts to go higher here and then we sold. So it's worth watching on possible reversal here. Again, depends what the market's going to be doing as well. Now, next one is Nike. It's been also strong. It's been going higher. And the reason I brought it up is on Thursday, they are reporting the earnings. So definitely will be worth watching if this move up was justified. Let's see how the company reports. Now, banks reacted very strongly to the Fed's language. JP Morgan continues going higher. Let's take a look. So we might continue and retest the highs of January 2022. That's what I mentioned to you from January 2022. The whole market was selling pretty much the whole year until October. So JP Morgan is leading. Goldman is also strong, but you can see this price action is triggering a thought maybe it's time for a nice correction. As you could see here as well, we're reaching the level of resistance around here on the weekly chart. Bank of America as well, nice move to the upside. As well, we are reaching the levels of resistance. Citi, if you remember last week, I think we mentioned this level around 49. We did break through it and we are trading above. And let's see how the banking sector will be acting this coming week. Okay, let's move to commodities. And we spoke briefly about the oil when mentioning China. Oil, if it decides to go higher, we need to break around 72 and start building support right here. Now, also what's worth noticing, as you could see here, the 50 moving average crossed below 200. So some of you might know that a lot of investors are taking this technical term, the named dead cross, and that as for some of them it's a trigger for selling. So we're going to be watching it. Like here, as you could see, this is the opposite called the golden cross. When the 50 moving average crosses above the 200, as you could see, it followed with buying, and here we might see the selling. Again, nothing is for sure, but this is one of the technical terms that the technical analysts are using. So that's on oil. Natural gas, if you remember, we mentioned the 250 level holding as a support, then we broke below and we rejected it as a resistance here. So far we are in a below 250 area, which is a bearish area here. And again, the winter is here. We might hear some weather forecast for the colder or milder, the other way, winter. So natural gas is very sensitive to the weather predictions. And again, as far as we, as long as we rejecting the 250, we are staying below. And if we manage to close about 250 again, we might see retesting of the higher levels here. So we'll be watching natural gas. Cocoa is really stumbling here around these levels. Just to see the initial level was 42.83 that we reached the end of November. Then we had one day closing higher, and that's it. We didn't manage to close higher. So some, I guess, some sellers are here, and we'll be watching it. There's a lot of actions below that level. We did have few tails going above and being rejected. So just to show us how robust this move was, it's all fundamentally driven. The shortage of cocoa. So we might see that after a while of unsuccessful attempts to break, we might see a correction coming in, or we might just break through and continue higher. Now, sugar, the opposite direction, we've been selling, and it looks like we are trying to play with this level here. So the last sell-off stopped around 21.77, and as you could see here, a lot of tails breaking through it. So far, we didn't close. So let's see what happens here. This is the strong level, as you could see. It was a resistance that turned into support and the new highs. So a lot of consolidation here. Let's see how this level plays. If we are holding it for a while, we might see that impulse to the upside. And if we break below, start building resistance here, we might go and retest lower levels there. Gold, as you could see, on Wednesday, gold reacted to the Fed's language, but then it didn't really have any strength to go higher. And just recently, we made the new high. So didn't really, the traders didn't really feel running it higher, as it looks like money went into the risk on or equity markets. So we're back into 2008 being a support after being resistance here. So let's see what this week brings us. Palladium had a very nice move. We spoke about this level here, around 950. It did triggered a lot of stops, and then after confirming support, we had a very strong move. It could be short squeeze. A lot of short interest was here, as you could see. When you see a huge range, bars or candles like that, that was really a panic, a buyback, or just buyers also coming in, a combination of both. So we are actually retesting now these levels here around 1180, 1190, 1200. So let's see how this week will be for Palladium. As you could see here, it's been selling a lot. And this is the week, as you could see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9 weeks were erased in 1 week move to the upside. Very strong move. Let's see if it actually gets a continuation here. And wheat, let's take a quick look at wheat. It's been also recovering or trying to recover here. We are playing with the 200 moving average, as you could see here. We did close above, then below again, and now we are retesting. So it looks like an accumulation going on here. So in order for it to run, we need to break the recent highs, and the opposite has to happen if we are going lower. Okay. That's as far as wheat. Okay. Let's move to Forex, and we'll start with dollar index, of course. As you could see here, we've been in the channel for a while between 103, 104. This was the Fed's decision followed by press conference. Dollar just tanked. Next day continued. A little recovery on Friday. So we're in a new zone now between 101. Let's see the weekly chart so we can see. As you could see here, I marked this level when the move down stopped, and I confirmed the previous one. So the low here was 101 and a quarter. So we did hold this level so far. So we are in a new area between 101 and a quarter and 103. Let's see what happens here. Again, it's all about Feds at this point. Everybody is hoping that the rate cuts will come sooner than expected. As far as Powell's speech or answers to the questions, to me, it didn't really show. He actually mentioned a few times that they're not really talking about interest rate cuts for now, but I guess market has its own opinions. So let's see what dollar will be doing now on the majors. We did hit resistance on the majors, the pound, after hitting almost 128, as you can see here, reversed. So 128 would be the next significant level to watch. On the euro, we also rejected 110 level, as you could see here. That was actually a double top. The first time we tried it the end of November, and then we tried it again on Thursday. And we did have difficulties going higher here. So you could see similar idea was a lot of attempts here back in July, August, and then we had the sell-off. So nice price action here. So we are between 110 and 109 as of now. Let's see what happens there. Now we spoke about yen. As I mentioned to you, yen is continuing gaining strength as we are getting closer. Will it happen this coming week or in January or in March or anytime? It will happen. So I guess the traders are starting to accumulate positions here. So over here, it's not just the weakness of the dollar, but also the strength of the yen is causing this pair to move lower, and we can prove it by looking at others. So this is the one that we've been watching. CHF JPY has been sliding as well. Other pairs are really selling against the yen, so it's obvious that the yen is really building up the strength. So definitely we'll be watching that. Now, Canadian dollar has been stronger, especially on the move of the oil to the upside. As you could see here, we had a strong sell-off on dollar CAD, and it looks like we are holding this 133.50 level. We'll be watching it this week. We did break through the major moving averages. We just broke the 200 moving average right here. So that's as far as Canadian. Now let's take a look at ZAR. I know a lot of people are trading ZAR. Dollar's been selling against the ZAR, and it looks like we are holding this support right here. We tried breaking it back in mid-November. 18.1 was the level, and take a look. Exactly the same level was rejected. So again, nothing is in stone, but it looks like this level 1810 is holding support. So if we see some strength in the dollar, we might see a reversal to the upside here. Hungarian forint, it's worth mentioning it. Again, just for the new people and to remind us all, we spoke about it a while ago. Fundamentally, when I spoke about it the first time, that with the war in Russia and Ukraine, then Hungary is really blocking, not Hungary, but one person there, Orban, he is blocking the aid from Europe to Ukraine, as a lot of people are convinced that he's an ally of Putin or his friend or whatever it is. So I mentioned a while ago that Europe warned Hungary if they will be acting like that, they might actually start receiving less help from European Union. So I mentioned it a while ago, and we had a few moves to the upside, and they just announced again that they are not, they are blocking that aid to Ukraine again. So I would be watching the Hungarian forint, use the Hungarian forint around this level, 344. That's where we bounce from, and we're currently testing the 200 moving average. So if the dollar getting stronger here, we might move higher again and retest this recent high of 356.80, and it might continue lower. But as of now, we are holding this level nicely here. Of course, we can break through and retest this recent low, and that's 342.16. Okay. Now, also, I'd like to look at a few pairs that we've been mentioning a few weeks in a row for technicals. Let's take a look where they are. Okay, here's Aussie JPY. We spoke about this these levels around here. We did have a nice move to the downside, and we are after the sell-off. There's a consolidation. So I think most of it's a yen related, and we are facing the interest rate decision next week. As priced in, there's no change, but as I always mentioned, Bank of Japan has a tendency to surprise everyone, so who knows. So we are holding after sell-off. That's not really a bounce here, so we might see continuation here. GBP CAD, we mentioned this level here around 170, 170. We did break below, above it, then we back, and then the intense move to the downside on Friday. So we might see continuation here, and that's the pair that we've been talking about. Now, GBP, JPY, similar idea here to any pair with Japanese yen. It's experiencing weakness, and it might continue lower as we are trading below the 200 moving average. We have a lot of tails and reversals. So let's see how this pair works this coming week. And CAD CHF, this is the one that was interesting that we spoke about. A lot of consolidation. As you could see, they've been really working this level very hard. 0.6457. A lot of closing below, above. And on Thursday, we did close above again. And Friday, we continued higher and closed above. So this could be the trigger just to show us the long time frame here. This is the monthly chart. So you could see here, after holding and then having a fake breakdown, we might actually see a reversal here. So definitely CAD CHF is worth watching, especially if we see move up in oil. That would help a little bit of Canadian dollar to move higher. So this pair, out of these four that I've been watching for a few weeks, it's actually showing a nice price action here. Okay, that's it with Forex, and we'll take a quick look at cryptos. So we spoke about this move down on the profit taking, and we are trading around 42,000, a little bit below 41,895. Again, I don't know what much to say about the cryptos. Just to repeat the same thing that I've been talking about, that all this recent move is driven by the ETFs potentially coming to the markets, and of course, a greed of, not the greed, but let's put it a nice way, expectations of the traders of move to the upside. Okay, that's it pretty much. Just to put it all together, we are having few things this week. That includes the US numbers and the decision on the interest rates from Japan. We are in the second half of December, so we might see that Santa Claus rally, as we are having price action at the all-time highs on US indices, especially NASDAQ and Dow Jones. S&P is a little bit struggling there. We still have a few companies reporting. Nike is reporting this week. Banking sector, the nice move to the upside. Let's see if it continues or we see correction. And also, we are entering the end of the year. So let's see how market reacts to it. Like, just to remind us again, 2021, they did run the market to the highs, and the following year was a sell-off. But some analysts are saying that 2024 might continue higher because of the elections. And also, we'll be watching the developments about the shipping companies with the situation in the Red Sea. Okay, I want to wish everyone a good weekend, or whatever's left of it. Prepare yourself, get some energy, and have a wonderful and successful week. All the best. Take care.